went from a week in week 3 where there were maybe 5 total fantasy points scored across the entire league to where now we have the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks getting in what? Almost 100 point scoring contest. We got a lot to talk about. We have a lot of adjustments we need to make, but most importantly, I have an announcement to make. So I know we have been talking about this all week. I know you're tired about it, but I have to make this announcement because I was wrong. I said that this Cooper Kupp special total line at half a total yard was available to everybody who used promo code FLOCK on Underdog Fantasy. Well, if you use promo code FLOCK on Underdog Fantasy before Friday at 3 p.m., then yes, you should have already seen this line. It will already be available to you for Monday night. However, if you use promo code FLOCK after 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday, you should get this Cooper Kupp special line, I believe, Monday morning. 100% you're going to get this Monday. 100% you're going to get this before Cooper Kupp's game kicks off. So if you go sign up for Underdog Fantasy right now to check out all their cool player props, to get into a draft with us, you're about to see what a draft looks like right this second. You will get this Cooper Kupp line, but you're not going to see it immediately. You will see it Monday morning. The reason for this is they have to do some special stuff on the back end to get you this Cooper Kupp special line, because this is only for people who use promo code FLOCK. And obviously, if you use promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100 as well. You can find the link in the live chat, available in pretty much every single state, not Hawaii, Louisiana, Michigan, Nevada, Washington, Connecticut, and Montana. I think those are the 7 states that don't have underdog drafts. But let's pull this up. Let's see what people are doing now in these drafts. Let's see how these players are appropriately valued. What do y'all think? Y'all think we're getting Jonathan Taylor at 11? What do y'all think? Do y'all think Jonathan Taylor is falling down to us at pick 11? And if you're confused here, Underdog also has these drafts. This is a best ball resurrection draft. This is a $10 buy-in, $500,000 prize pool tournament draft. This league is going to start in week 6, but it looks like people still prefer Jonathan Taylor over Christian McCaffrey, which honestly, maybe you're a little bit surprised here. Maybe you're a little bit surprised to see JT over Christian McCaffrey. You have Jamar Chase at 6. I mean, obviously, CMC didn't have a great game running the ball this week, but Christian McCaffrey did have more receptions than carries. Christian McCaffrey finally looked how he did in 2019. I'd be so damn excited about it. You have Mark Andrews going off the board here at 8. I'm surprised you don't have TJ Hawkinson here in the first round. Okay. So Lamar Jackson off the board at 10. Dear God. We're going to go ahead. We are going to be taking Tyreek Hill here. I mean, with Tyreek Hill, I think we're setting ourselves up the ability to take someone else at pick 14. Keep in mind on Underdog Fantasy, since it's best ball, with these drafts, you're not replacing your main fantasy football league. Hell no, you're not doing this. I'm in over 700 of these Underdog drafts, and the reason we're able to is because it's best ball. That means there's no waiver wire. That means you do not submit your starting lineup each and every week. That's automatically done for you at the end of every week. And because of that, wide receivers are going to get pushed up these draft boards. So we're going to go Tyreek Hill at 11. I mean, with Tyreek Hill, yes, it looks like we're not going to get Tua Tagovailoa back anytime soon, but still, I mean, with Tyreek, Teddy, he did just fine with Teddy Bridgewater here. So I think it'll be an okay selection at 11. Carlos is coming out here talking about Breece Hall. Yes, we will get to Breece Hall in just 1 second. Once we see where people decide to go through and draft Breece Hall, then I'll kind of focus in on him. Okay, now this is an interesting spot after we take Tyreek Hill. I know a lot of people are going to want to go through and just jam in a quarterback here. I don't know. I think because on Underdog Fantasy, you have to start 3 wide receivers every single week, and it's best ball, we are going to assume that these wide receivers get pushed up draft boards. We are going to go Amon-Ra St. Brown here. Trust me, look at the running back value that we'll be able to get later on. My most drafted running back on Underdog this year was Josh Jacobs, and that's because on Underdog, you get some ridiculous values, where you're looking at Josh Jacobs being a running back that we used to be able to get in the 7th round, my most drafted running back, which I am very excited about. So we will be able to find running backs later on. Austin Eckler goes at 15. Honestly, if you're playing in a regular fantasy football league and it's not best ball, you 100% go Eckler. Eckler's the player you want over Amon-Ra St. Brown, over Devontae Adams, over A.J. Brown, over Tyreek Hill, over Lamar Jackson, over even maybe Jamar Chase, depending on the league that you're in. But of course, when we are doing these drafts on Underdog, you're going to have to understand that we are looking at wide receivers versus wide receivers, running back versus running back. Don't try to evaluate these players across positions if we are looking at their long-term fantasy football values. Flyboy Mark says, thanks for your advice with Melvin Gordon on the waiver wire yesterday. You're welcome, my man. And yeah, I remember that question. It was like, are we going to go pick up Melvin Gordon or Michael Gallup? Something along those lines. Essentially, we were saying, okay, well, we want to go through. We want to pick up Melvin Gordon, given the fact that something could happen that turns Melvin Gordon into a league winner this week. Whereas that depth wide receiver, nothing is going to change his situation that drastically. So honestly, probably a pretty good call because obviously it looks like Melvin Gordon is in a good situation. Jay and Kevin out says Devin Duvernay was so close to 16 points. So close, yet so far away, my friend. And real quick, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on this live stream. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We are going to get our top 10 lessons learned video out after the Sunday night game tonight. Very excited to watch the Bucs and the Chiefs play each other. And also, we are going to get our waiver wire video out in the morning. We're going to get videos out every single day. We're going to get live streams going every single day. So make sure you drop a like, subscribe. And like I said, it is not too late to go sign up for Underdog Fantasy, whether or not you want to draft with us on the live stream or whether or not you just want to go take advantage of this Cooper Kupp half a receiving yard line. When you go sign up for Underdog Fantasy, use promo code FLOCK. They're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. So deposit $10 with the link in the live chat. You'll automatically have $20 in your account and then go through and bet that $20 on Cooper Kupp over half the total yard tomorrow night. Take advantage of that free money. And I worked my ass off to get you all that Cooper Kupp line. Please make sure you're taking advantage of that. Carly says, what do I do with Jonathan Taylor? How concerned are you? You're the GOAT. So if we're going to be looking at Jonathan Taylor, this will be a running back. We're diving a little bit in deeper with the video tonight. Obviously, this is a player that's been disappointing. I mean, can we at least say, maybe I told you so, Matt Ryan? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I was still drafting Jonathan Taylor at the 101, so it is what it is. With JT, he had 20 carries. He had the workload. He just did absolutely nothing with it. Root just says, highest upside play to win, Godwin or Jeff Wilson Jr. In theory, it's Godwin, but with Godwin being banged up, I'm just going to go Jeff Wilson Jr. Steven says, who do I try to trade? 2 quarterback out PBR league. We have Lamar, Kirk. Running back, we have JT, AJ Dillon, Tony Pollard, wide receiver Evans, Michael Thomas, Curtis Samuel, tight end Mark Andrews. I mean, we've been talking about selling Curtis Samuel for a very long time now just because I'm not a believer long-term that this Washington offense keeps up what they were able to do at the beginning portion of the season. However, I don't know if we're going to be able to get anything for Terry McLaurin now. I mean, for Curtis Samuel now. Maybe with Mike Evans, who I assume to have a massive performance against Kansas City Chiefs this week. If we have Mike Evans dominating this week with a banged up Godwin, a banged up Julio, even if they do play, maybe you go through and go in that direction. Griffin says, I just sent a trade for Christian Kirk and Austin Eckler, and I'd be getting Jonathan Taylor in return. Should I do it? Okay. Please let me know in the live chat. Would you rather have Christian Kirk and Austin Eckler or Jonathan Taylor? Obviously, Austin Eckler just dominated. And dominated Jonathan Taylor. Okay. Yeah, so we have a question saying, why don't I see the Cooper Kupp line on Underdog? I use promo code FLOCK. So you are going to get that line, but if you signed up for Underdog Fantasy before 3 p.m. on Friday Eastern, you should already have that line for Underdog Fantasy attached to your account. But because they're only doing this for people who use promo code FLOCK, it's a lot of work on the back end, and you are going to see that line show up for you on Monday if you signed up for Underdog Fantasy after 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday. So you can still go sign up. You're still going to get the line, but it's going to show up for you tomorrow after you signed up after that date because they have to do that work on the back end. So we're going to go DeAndre Swift at 35. Like I said, this league doesn't start till week 6. DeAndre Swift has the week 6 bye. I think DeAndre Swift's going to be healthy by week 7. So DeAndre Swift's not going to miss any more time compared to the other players that we're going to get in this range. Maybe we decide to go through and go in the direction of Najee Harris. So if you're box score scouting, Kenny Pickett looked a lot worse than he actually did. Kenny Pickett, one of those interceptions was just a Hail Mary thing at the very end of the game. Najee Harris had nothing as a pass catcher either. Obviously, Javonte Williams hurt. You can't take Javonte. I think we may have to go Najee Harris. Never mind. We saved ourselves last second. I know we're being bold here, but I don't give a damn. We are going to go through. We're going to take another running back that was in that same game. We are going to go through. We are going to be taking Breece Hall here. I think getting DeAndre Swift and Breece Hall here at the 3-4 turn. This is why we took Amon-Ra St. Brown there at the beginning of the second. You could easily tell me Mason Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be a reach of that selection, which he will be healthy by week 6. Not worried about that in the slightest. But what I'm going to say is, hell, look at the running backs that we are getting later on. Getting DeAndre Swift, getting Breece Hall. With Breece Hall, we've been talking about the breakout. We've been talking about the elite profile for God knows how long. God knows how long. This past week, I mean, it's not like he's blowing you away with the points at the end of the week. He only had 66 rushing yards, rushing touchdown, couple receptions out of the backfield. But Michael Carter, every single week, is seeing his role shrink in this offense. Najee Harris is probably the right pick. Najee Harris is probably the correct selection. I don't know. I want to get excited about our guy, Breece Hall. Okay. V27K coming out with a donation. Thank you. Says, hey, Mason, Eckler finally paid off. I need some help with my team. My main players are Diggs, Eckler, Andrews. My receivers are Curtis, Amari Cooper, Breece Hall, Miles Sanders at running back. What moves should I make? Hell, I think we want to be keeping Sanders, Breece Hall at this point. We're going to be diving a little bit in deeper with the Miles Sanders usage, but it looked like it was a great game, and it was against a pretty tough defense as well. Not trading Eckler. Not trading Diggs, not trading Andrews. We will look into what we could get with Eckler right now. I mean, here he goes in this draft at 15. Like, if we were looking at Eckler still being valued behind CMC, JT, Saquon Barkley, then honestly, we're going to just hold Austin Eckler. Maybe if we get to a point where people are saying that they would rather have Austin Eckler over Jonathan Taylor, maybe we would go through and trade Austin Eckler for Jonathan Taylor. We had someone else in the live chat go ahead and trade Austin Eckler and Christian Kirk for Jonathan Taylor. Maybe they sent it the reverse way, but that was the asking price at that point. But real quick, we just hit 100 likes on the live stream. Thank you so much for everybody who's gone down there and dropped a like on the stream for us. I genuinely do appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty. So thirsty. Okay. So now we Chris Godwin going pick 49 here. Cordell Patterson goes 50. Interesting to see Patterson go. Okay, so with Cordell Patterson this week, you ended up with Tyler Algier playing more snaps, obviously. This was with Cordell Patterson with a knee injury. Maybe that's not too predictive going forward, but still at the same time, it is interesting. Bling on top says somehow Josh Jacobs got 34 points. Thank God Josh Jacobs did something. In these underdog drafts that are half point per reception, Josh Jacobs was going in the 7th, 8th round this offseason. 6th, 7th, 8th. We were drafting him the entire way down. But Josh Jacobs, my most drafted running back on Underdog Fantasy this year, was looking kind of embarrassing through the first few weeks. Let me pull up this Josh Jacobs game log. But what's nice about Underdog is since it's best ball, like it's not like we gave up on Jacobs, threw him down there on the bench. Jacobs been very consistent for us. I mean, has been hitting our starting lineup. 57 rushing yards, 69 rushing yards, 66 rushing yards. This past week, 144 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 6 targets, 31 receiving yards. Last week, he had 31 receiving yards. This is exactly what we were drafting Josh Jacobs in the 7th round for. Exactly what we were taking him for. My 2 most drafted players, most drafted running back this year was Josh Jacobs. Most drafted wide receiver was Jalen Waddle. Honestly, I really want to say, I told you so. I told you so. We just need to make sure that Jalen Waddle is going to be okay with okay with Teddy Bridgewater. But when he had Tua Tagovailoa, when he did, he was a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy. And don't you forget that. Don't you forget that we hit on Jalen Waddle for a top 5 finish. Of course, he wasn't going to keep that top 5 spot the entire season, but it still was very exciting. Okay, so we're going to go Kyler Murray here, 59. Not really overthinking this Kyler Murray selection. Now, this team has just been queuing their players up and letting the timer go down. So far, they took Kamara. They go J.K. Dobbins at 60. Dobbins, another one of my most drafted. It was a good year. I mean, it was a good week. I think it is going to be a very good year as well. We're going to go James Conner. I mean, James Conner didn't score a touchdown this week. That is annoying, but he still was used as a pass catcher. We just took Arizona, so we kind of want to have access to these guys. I'm sorry, we just took Kyler Murray, so we want to have access to this Arizona Cardinals offense. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to be taking James Conner. And honestly, I think James Conner's great. Great price here. I mean, if we're going through and looking at what you've had from James Conner so far this season, of course, not really going to be fair to hold week 2 against someone who leaves week 2 early with an injury. But outside of that 1 week, James Conner's been a running back with a very nice role in this offense, at least. Okay, sorry. We're having a hard time pulling up this game log. But coming into the week, James Conner, which y'all have heard me say a million times over, had 15 targets, including the game that he left early, including week 3 being a little bit banged up here as well. Okay, it's not pulling up. Let me just go to the Cardinals box score. This week, you had 15 carries for James Conner. At the same time, he had 3 receptions. You still have the workload that you're looking for with James Conner. Obviously, he's getting scaled back with the overall touchdowns. I mean, just the touchdowns are regressing, which is something you should come to expect. Flyboy Mark says, are we panicking on Pitts? This is something I want to avoid. I think that we may have made a massive mistake. Kyle Pitts this week, 1 reception. Marcus Mariota. Oh my gosh. I forgot who told us this in the live stream this morning. Someone came out to the live chat this morning and said, Marcus Mariota, top 10 quarterback, lock it in. Marcus Mariota this week. And I don't know how the hell the Atlanta Falcons won this game. I watched very little of this game. But 7 completions. Marcus Mariota, 7 completions. You had 35 rushing attempts for this offense. You had 7 completions for Mariota. Oh, dear God. Also, Cleveland Browns had no Garrett. They had no Clowney. I don't know. Kid Hoop says Hawkinson over Pitts. Yeah, I mean, I went through, I told everybody to draft Kyle Pitts this year. Let me look at my exposures on Kyle Pitts. I have Kyle Pitts in a lot of leagues. Kyle Pitts in 9% of drafts. Hawkinson at 10% of drafts. Check that bad boy out. Happy about that. But Blake says, same 16-team league. Quarterback, we have Lamar Jackson. Running back, we have Joe Mixon, A.J. Dillon. Wide receiver, we have Terry McLaurin, Jerry Jeudy. Tight end, we have Travis Kelce. We have London in the flex. Any ideas, anybody I should move? I'm going to reiterate what we were saying previously. I think Terry McLaurin's possibly a sell-high candidate, knowing that Washington's just not going to be that productive, and there's so many guys to look for. I mean, hell, John Dodson, serious target competition. Obviously, you have serious target competition with Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick. I don't know. Okay. I think you have a very strong, in a 16-team league, it's a very strong team. Not too much we need to do. Jamal Williams off the board here, 77. Obviously, Jamal and the entire Detroit Lions offense had a great week. But this league doesn't start till week 6. So I think that by the time we get to week 7, because remember, the Detroit Lions have that bye week, week 6, DeAndre Swift should be healthy. So I'm not too excited about Jamal Williams. Tony Pollard took a step back. You had Ezekiel Elliott with the larger split in this backfield. Kareem had 12 touches, it looks like. Ezekiel Elliott's crazy to see. Crazy to see that he had an ADP 6 picks behind Tony Pollard. I wonder if this reverts back to what it was previously. Let's read this with Traylon Burks. So Traylon Burks was using crutches and sporting a boot on his left foot after the win. Oh, dear God. Please be back soon, Traylon Burks. I drafted Traylon Burks in a decent amount of spots. Drafted him in a decent amount of spots. Now, Melvin Gordon going off the board, 81. Probably a pretty good selection with Melvin Gordon. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to take the discount on Kareem Hunt. Looks like the role's not changing much. Just Help me. He's not scoring the touchdown when they're going over instead in the direction of Nick Chubb. For other plan, I think we maybe take a 5th running back here and then we call it a day. Let's see what Freddie decides to do. Goes Gallup and Wilson. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Josh Jacobs and call it a day. No smart person would ever tell you to draft a team this way on Underdog Fantasy. On Underdog Fantasy, you need to be hitting your wide receivers more than this. You should not be drafting 5 running backs here as early as we did. I just really like the value with these players. I think there are some rookie wide receivers we can chase some upsides with a little bit later on. Given the best ball format, I think we can have some of these wide receivers randomly spike in our lineup. So yeah, we're going to go Jacobs at the beginning of the 8th round here. Oh, hammer in wide receivers after this. Okay. So now G-Money says, hey, Mason, I told you on Jacobs and Waddle. Say, I told you so. You missed on Pitts. This is fantasy football. That's why we love it. Thank you for telling us. I'm sorry I didn't listen. Thank you for telling us, though. Thank you for telling us. Okay. Aaron says, finally, CMC did his thing. Baker Mayfield sucks. Yeah, I mean, you're not too excited about what you had with Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's not like this offense was that good. Just Christian McCaffrey finally got targeted. That was essentially it. That's pretty much the only thing, the only difference of what actually happened here. So Lawrence goes, Dak goes. So we have Kyler Murray at quarterback. So I'm not dying to grab another QB here. I actually like taking Dak Prescott in these leagues on Underdog, these best ball resurrection drafts, since these are not going to be starting until week 6. But we've Adam Thielen, Traylon Burks, Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson. At this point, we really want to see some running backs off the board. Josiah says, Broncos running back Javonte Williams just left the locker room on crutches. Coach Nathaniel Hackett said both Williams and Randy Gregory will get MRIs in the morning, both injured right knees. I'm really hoping that Javonte Williams is going to go. I'm really hoping that he's going to be good to go. Hawkinson finally off the board here at 95. I mean, this later than where Hawkinson was going in these drafts before the year, I think at this point. I mean, you got to be excited about the value. Okay, so now Aaron Rodgers going off the board at 98. Rodgers goes 98. Devin Singletary 99. Come on, get these running backs off. Someone take Montgomery. Someone take Akers. Someone take Montgomery. Someone take Akers. Singletary is a running back that we do need to look a little bit deeper in on. Because with Devin Singletary here, I mean, I kind of want to sit and say, oh, okay, well, maybe this is a spot where with Devin Singletary, actually, I don't even want to say we have to start. I was going to say maybe we have to start him just given the fact that if you look at the snaps, James Cook didn't play at all. Literally at all. Zach Moss saw fewer snaps than he's pretty much seen all year as well. So Devin Singletary looks like he has a very large role. Clearly didn't do much with it. Okay. But Froling King Effer says, Deion Jackson or Niemeyns if JT's out. I don't think we want to play either guy, to be honest. Jonathan Taylor's not playing. I don't think I want to play a running back in that backfield. Just knowing that Niemeyns going to have the same role he's always had. He's just going to be the passing down running back here. Just going to be that third down guy. Deion Jackson's going to be a running back with a first and second down role smaller than what you had with Jonathan Taylor, where Jonathan Taylor wasn't able to be productive with that role in this offense. Awesome. Not a massive fan of that. Morph says, thoughts on Breece Hall getting 67% of the snaps? Oh, crap. I mean, first off, let me say thoughts on someone sniping Dalton Schultz from us. I hate that. And second off, do we just go Derek Carr? Yeah, we're going to go Derek Carr. And then, yeah, if we're going to be looking at Breece Hall, you know we are excited about this Breece Hall breakout. I just reached on Breece Hall to take Breece Hall in a very aggressive spot, about 15 picks before his ADP. So I am excited. I'm excited. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Hunter Renfrow here. I think Hunter Renfrow should be back by week 6. The reason we go Derek Carr is simply so we can take Hunter Renfrow on the turn, get that pseudo double stack here with Josh Jacobs, Derek Carr, and Hunter Renfrow. Make that one consolidated bet on the Las Vegas Raiders offense. Okay. Someone says you skipped Everett. Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at short term, I think that Gerald Everett's very appealing here. But these best ball resurrection drafts on Underdog, you need to be thinking long term. You need to be thinking second half of the season. This league doesn't start till week 6, and it's a $10 buy-in with a $500,000 prize pool. That tournament's weeks 15, 16, 17. Now, Damian Harris goes 113. Carl says, I got offered Jonathan Taylor for Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. Is this too much? Can I ask the live chat this? It's so hard. I don't want to be panicking on JT here. I really don't want to be panicking on Jonathan Taylor. I know a lot of people are going to be. Let me pull up the recent report that we have with JT. Okay. If it's a potential, dear God. Potential high ankle sprain. They're saying that you have the Indianapolis Colts playing on Thursday night as well. So it sounds like JT, if he potentially has high ankle sprain, he's playing on Thursday. Sounds like he's 99% sure missing this week. I don't know beyond that. Dear God. Addy says, should I trade Dameon Pierce, Allen Lazard, and A.J. Dillon for Dalvin Cook and Travis Etienne? I'd rather have Travis Etienne over Allen Lazard. I'd rather have Dalvin Cook over Dameon Pierce and A.J. Dillon. Dameon Pierce had a much better week this week than I expected. Dameon Pierce ran more routes. Dameon Pierce saw more targets than he had seen any other week, even with Rex Burkhead leading this backfield in receiving. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not as excited to go through and trade Kyle Pitts, but I'm sorry, trade Dameon Pierce. I think we do. Go ahead and make that deal. Just Get It Done says, just wanted to tell all the Javonte Williams owners like myself, it'll be okay. We'll all get through this together. Happy I've held on to Breece Hall, though. Yes. I mean, it is a tough spot with Javonte Williams. I mean, with Javonte Williams, I feel like it's always what could have been. What could have been? We talked about all offseason last year. Oh, if Javonte Williams could go through, if Javonte Williams could take this role from Melvin Gordon, he's going to be a top 5 running back in fantasy. He's going to have the elite level ceiling. Thought that this was going to be a little bit better, but I don't know. It just sucks. It really does. Okay. So Rashad Penny off the board. Rashad Penny, great week this week. I don't know how much this has to do regarding the Detroit Lions matchup versus Rashad Penny himself. I mean, I think at this point, every single guy you have going up against the Lions, you need to go through and play. Okay. We really can't take a running back here, so we're really hoping that these other teams decide to grab some RBs. Alexander Madison goes 127. So Joshua Palmer did not do much. That boy OD's asking if we should get rid of Najee Harris right now. I took Breece Hall over Najee Harris more as a statement than anything. Just going and planting my flag on Breece Hall. I think, though, if you could trade Najee Harris and get Breece Hall and a pretty large wide receiver upgrade at the same time, I would be interested in that. Dave Bryce says, who would win in a fist fight, Eli or Peyton? 100%. Actually, I don't know. I was going to say 100% Eli, but Peyton just seems bigger in general. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take Rondell Moore just to bet on that Arizona Cardinals offense. Gonzalez says, how do you feel about Penny and Jacobs rest of season? Should we sell? Penny, yes. Jacobs are probably going to be holding. I mean, it's just going to depend on the value that you get. I'll show you where we took Josh Jacobs in this draft and how people are valuing him right now. Chronicles of Bennerman says, trade Antonio Gibson for A.J. Dillon. I would prefer A.J. Dillon over Antonio Gibson. I know Dillon didn't have the best game this week, but let me pull up the official stat line. I didn't see what happened in overtime there because we were preparing the live stream. MVS off the board. Okay. A.J. Dillon had one more carry than Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon only one reception out of the backfield, though. Interesting. Deshaun Watson goes. Let's say Todd Conklin. Not too exciting, but given our roster, given how early we took these running backs, we can't take another running back. We kind of have to go to another position. Honestly, I like the running back value here, so I think probably if we were to go back and redo something, maybe instead of taking Breece Hall, we instead go grab someone like Keenan Allen and be able to take some of these running backs in this range because these running backs in this range are very nice. Okay. But Steve says, do I sell Dalvin Cook? If so, who should I target? So let's go through, let's look at how people are valuing Dalvin Cook right now. This is my favorite thing to do in these underdog drafts. Just get a good idea of how the overall fantasy football community is valuing these players. I mean, these are $10 drafts. Go deposit $10 on Underdog Fantasy with promo code FLOCK. Hell, you have $20 in your account because they match your first deposit offer $1 to $100. Then go through, and only with promo code FLOCK are you going to get that Cooper Kupp over under half receiving yard line. So go back to $20 you'll then have on your account on that Cooper Kupp over. Take that money, hop into some of these drafts if you want, or go check out some more of those play props. Make sure you find the link in the live chat or the description. But looking at Dalvin Cook, if you're really going to sell Dalvin Cook, who are you selling him for? We selling Dalvin Cook for Swift, Kamara, Hall, Najee, Javonte? No, I'm going to keep Dalvin Cook if this is his price point. I think that Dalvin Cook is very appealing here. Obviously, Alexander Mattison scored the touchdown this week. Dalvin Cook's really had no touchdown volume at all, which isn't great, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I think that Dalvin Cook is going to be better going forward. Freddie says, hey, Mason, keep it up. Flock22. Thank you, my man, for supporting the channel. I do definitely appreciate you. Jansen says, watch Kupp, only get rushing yards tomorrow. What's funny is actually, if you look at the actual line on Underdog Fantasy, if you use promo code FLOCK, it's over under half one total yard. So if Cooper Kupp only gets rushing yards tomorrow, you're good. You're covered, my friend. Don't be worried about that at all. And like I said, if you did not sign up for Underdog Fantasy with promo code FLOCK, you are not going to get access to that. And if you sign up for Underdog Fantasy right now or after 3 p.m. on Friday, so this last Friday, if you signed up, say Saturday morning, Friday night, you're not going to see that Cooper Kupp line until tomorrow. And the reason for that is they have to do special work on the back end to get that for people because it's only for users of promo code FLOCK. Whereas if you signed up for Underdog Fantasy years ago, promo code FLOCK, or months ago, or weeks ago, you should be able to see that on Underdog Fantasy already if you didn't go and make that bet already. Okay. Caleb says panic on JT. Everybody is panicking on Jonathan Taylor. Question is, what could you get for Jonathan Taylor in trade? What could you get for him? That is the real question. Okay. So DJ Chark off the board here, 148. Swing this back around. Oh, dear God. We definitely need some wide receivers here. Interesting to see a couple of these wide receivers where they're being drafted. You have Noah Brown going here. Very interesting to see Noah Brown going before someone like Jarvis, before Irv Smith Jr. If we're looking at Noah Brown, yeah, Noah Brown had 3 receptions, 61 receiving yards, I guess, this week. So I think long-term Noah Brown is absolutely nothing. I think Noah Brown is absolutely nothing when you get both Michael Gallup and Dalton Schultz in this offense. And real quick, it looks like half of y'all have gone down there and dropped a like in the live stream. So thank you so much for everybody dropping a like on the stream. If you are of the half that has not dropped a like on the live stream yet, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Go ahead, fix your life. Make sure you go down there and drop a like on the live stream. Okay. So I see we have a donation. We'll get to that as soon as we make our selection here. Kind of want to go through and make sure that we don't make too many mistakes, which we probably are going to, but it is what it is. So we're done at quarterback. We're done at running back. Christian Watson goes 153. I think Decent Hitters knows that we would have taken Christian Watson. Maybe at not 155, but at least on the way back around. Okay. Chasen Boscolo goes Evan Ingram. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take Kadarius Toney, hoping that Toney can maybe be something with Sterling Shepard going down. Probably, I doubt it, but maybe. Maybe. What did Logan Thomas do this week? Logan Thomas, I mean, he had some volume. It's just that I think a big thing is as well, the Dallas Cowboys defense is so damn good. So damn good. Maybe you can't play anybody going up against Cowboys defense. But Jack says, I give up 2/3, a second next year, a first this year with Treylon Burks for Pickens, Jacobs, Akers. No. So we're giving up Treylon Burks for Pickens. Say you'd rather have Pickens. Still, it's close to being a lateral move. Say we're also giving up a first-round pick. I would rather have the first-round pick over Josh Jacobs. I don't think Akers makes up the difference, especially when we're giving up those other selections as well. I would say probably not. Keep the rookie picks. Theo says, have Javonte Williams next week start Godwin or Romeo Doubs. I mean, hell, if we are able to go through and start Melvin Gordon without no Javonte Williams, you're playing Melvin Gordon. And Samuel for Edmonds or possibly Etienne. I'd rather have Travis Etienne rest of season over Curtis Samuel. Next best start is Darrell Henderson. Move Gabriel Davis. Gabriel Davis we will get to in a video later on this week. But I think that, Sunday Night Football is about to start, so I'm going to have to go through. I'm going to have to end this so we can watch that. Hopefully this gave you a good idea of some quick ways you can look at going through and trying to figure out how to value these players after this week. Let me show off the draft board to show you how these guys are currently being valued in fantasy football. Please, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop that like, go sign up for Underdog to get in a draft with us, to check out this promo code FLOCK when you check out this Cooper Cup special line with promo code FLOCK. They'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Link in the live chat, link in the comment section, available in damn near every state. Thank you again. I appreciate you. Hope you have a great day. Hope you get to enjoy this Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Kansas City Chiefs game. And I'll see you with the video after the game.